Yo, what up, boys?
ChocoWolf here, and
Today
is a somewhat special day.
That's because today
Is my birthday. That's exactly what I said
on my previous video
a year ago, which I said exactly a year before that. Each year, man, I look back at myself and I think to myself like, damn, I was so lame, so cringe, so annoying, but I feel like that's something everyone does, you know? You always think you're cool until you look back at yourself a year later and then you realize how corny you really were. I think that's just life, man. I rewatched my last year's video and I ain't gonna lie, my ears bled a little bit. I'm sorry to the 107 people who watched it. Either way though, we up now. Looking back, man, I was definitely more enthusiastic last year. You can hear it in my voice, which I also now kind of hate, but it's cool, man. It's just growth. I finally turned 17 today, which is just a year away from being an adult. Time flies by so fast, man, even though it feels so slow. Growing up is so weird. But yeah, now I'm kind of like in a complicated relationship, right? I'm in a complicated relationship with Bed Wars, the way I had my life dedicated to her like 2 years ago, and now I barely touch her. I definitely could have worded that better, but I ain't lying. One thing I can say for sure though is my video production has definitely gotten better over the past 2 years. The audio quality, the video quality, and just, you know, overall the quality of the content. I remember like having to use lo-fi beats pretty loud so my mic would sound decent. The things I did just to try and make a good video were insane, and still the videos weren't that good. Well, to my center now they weren't that good, but back then I was so proud of them, man. It's nice to look back at. I don't know how further up we're gonna go from here, to be honest. I think the only thing that needs work at this point is creativity, because the audio and video seem pretty good in my opinion right now, so maybe the audio gets better, maybe the video gets better, I'm not sure. But I kind of I want to work on my creativity, which I'm not even sure how you can work on your creativity, but I feel like that's the only thing I'm lacking at this point. The editing is fine, the video quality is fine, the audio quality is fine. It's just the quality of the content, you know, like just the ideas is kind of what I struggle with now, which was kind of wild because around a year or two ago, I had so many ideas written down, I kind of lost them all. The last 2 videos were so depressing, man, and I don't need a repeat of that for a third year. But in case you haven't watched those two, which you shouldn't, they're pretty lame. I kind of just complained about how I never really celebrated my birthday and how I barely got any wishes and, you know, just all the lame stuff, bro. I don't really care all that much about my birthday, man. It's not even that deep. It just gives me an excuse to drop a video because I don't really like dropping videos which have no plot, I guess. Like, the video's gotta have a purpose, you know. I hate how I just complained about complaining, which I'm doing again. I'm complaining about complaining about complaining. Like, it's just so wild. But enough of that, man. Looking back at it, all I can say is we've definitely made improvements. We've definitely, you know, grown in a positive way, and I'm happy with how things have turned out. Either way, I thought it was cool to share who I share birthdays with. And the last one is the most shocking one. So firstly, we got Bob Marley. Now, I know he was really influential and all that, but I've never really given him a listen, so I don't know. It's still cool though that we share birthdays. And then we have Joe Bartolozzi, I don't know, Joe, who's this famous TikToker, right? And he just screams at his phone. But the most important person born on the same day I was born, well, not same day, but regardless, the most important person born on 6th February is Rick Ashley, bro. So my life is just literally a Rickroll. You know, the day I found out that I shared birthdays with Rick Ashley, my entire life changed. You know, I was planning on changing my name as well. You know, my whole world changed that day. 16's been a wild year, man. It's probably the best year I've had so far. I've grown so much in it. I've made a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people. One friend in particular who I was really close with for 2 years ended up backstabbing me. The people who know, they know, man. That dude. I went through a lot of hardships. I went through ups and downs. I think my Pepsi addiction may have gotten worse. I'm not even sure. My voice got deeper. I got more jacked. I grew my hair out longer. I grew my facial hair out. So much has happened in the past year. And honestly, no matter how bad the bad things were, the good things made it worthwhile. I can only hope that 17 treats me even better. Last year I said I hope 16-year-old me doesn't follow the same footsteps as 15-year-old Choco. Well, I am happy to say that I didn't. 16-year-old me was a completely different dude than 15-year-old me. Like, he was pimping. I gotta say, I grew a lot as a person in the last year, and I'm really glad things worked out the way they did. You know, I could have, but I wouldn't wish for a better year. If I could go back, I'd probably change things, but you know, just for the sake of the video and just so it's like wholesome or whatever, I'll say that if I could go back in time, I wouldn't change a thing. In reality, I probably would change a couple of things, but you don't need to know about that. Anyways, though, 6th Feb, just turned 17, almost an adult now. And yeah, that's about it. Take care, everyone. I hope you all have an amazing day.